Now, connecting to others. This is kind of interesting. Have you ever, and I'm talking to you, you got to get this part, right? Have you ever had a sense that one of your friends was feeling bad, not so good, something was going on, and you called them, and it was you were actually right. And why did you call them? Because you felt this, whatever this emotion, and it wasn't yours. You identified that it wasn't yours. So you made a call. You might have had to make 2 calls or 3 calls, but normally that's not the case. The first call is normally the right one. So if they were feeling sad or angry or frustrated, whatever, you felt that, and then you called them. Is that a good thing or not? And yes, the answer is yes and no, just like all the other answers, right? Yes, you made the call, you helped them out. And how were you able to actually tell that it wasn't yours, wasn't your emotion? Well, nothing like that was happening in my life. We like to say that it was a spiked emotion, whether it was anger or frustration or sadness or hurt. It was a spiked emotion. And when you looked around in your world, it didn't match anything. It came out of the hash, so to speak. Let me call Kanoa. Let me call Mary. Let me call somebody. And then you were right. And then you helped them. But this is what happens. Let's say you have 2 high vibrating people here, you and your friend. And your friend has some emotional thing happen to them. What's going to happen to their vibration? So now they're here. And when you connect to them and you feel it, what's going to happen to your vibration? Well, if you're feeling their negative emotions, what's going to happen? That's right. You're going to come down. Are you ever going to get to their level or below? Highly unlikely. Why? Because it's not your problem. You might get close. But now, can you help them? Yes, of course you can. But you can't help them higher than you are. You can help them to the level that you are. So what happens if you would have stayed up here? Yeah, at a higher vibration. Whoa, you would have had a bigger range. Yeah? So we like to say sensing versus feeling. If you're feeling them, if they're crying, you're feeling. But if they're crying and you feel like crying, you're still feeling. However, if they're crying and you feel clarity and you feel like you can really help them without all the emotions, and you're sensing. Now, how did you connect to them to begin with? We said that it was out of the hash and all that stuff. This is how we think, or the easiest metaphor that we could come up with, is you have to be connected to them. So imagine that you're connected to them with an umbilical cord, or an Aka connection, umbilical cord. Imagine an umbilical cord coming from your heart to their heart, like a hose. So what's going through this hose? Negative emotions. Is that a good thing? Yes and no, but really heavy on the no part. So if you were just sending love, light, and aloha all the time, yeah. But if you're not experiencing all the positive vibrations and sometimes you have some stress, they'll be feeling that too. Same thing with them. There's no one-way valve, only positive things are filtered. So now, having a connection to people, having that umbilical cord connection to people is a good thing. Or having a connection to people is a good thing. And using an umbilical cord connection to people is a good thing as well. But we like to reframe it or change the connection. So in order to change the connection, you have to be willing to remove all the connections that you have to people right now. And then reconnect with them, the ones that you choose to anyway, in a more healthy way for you, as well as them. So make that decision quickly to remove all the umbilical cords and just go through the process. Of course, you can go back to the way you are now, anytime you want. So now there's two types of connections. There's major connections, and then there's minors. And of course, there's majors, and majors, and then major minors, and then minors. All there's different levels that people distinguish. However, the major ones are connected to your two major energy centers, which is what? And the people that don't know anything about energy centers, you know nothing about energy centers, you know two. This one, your heart, your pu'uvai, and your na'au, your solar plexus, right? These are the two major energy centers. If you're talking about emotions, where's anger? Anger is here, in your solar plexus. Na'au. Sadness, in your heart, pu'uvai. Fear, hurt, pu'uvai, heart. Guilt, kind of like both areas. Okay, so now that's where your major energy says,